Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the weekly check in, Life Unscripted. We have a guest today. Her name is Julie. And then we have Keisha and Francis. So I'm going to give each person time to introduce themselves. But we're going to start off with our guest. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Harris. I am a cement finisher out of Local 502 in Chicago. I have been in the trades 27 years, and I was a laborer for 5 years before I became a cement finisher. So, pretty much I did building trades and the road work. I've done everything from epoxy to troweling floors. I've done major projects like a lot of people know in Chicago when we go down the Eisenhower called the Hillside Strangler. Done that. Done the expansion of Midway when back in the early 2000s. Did part of O'Hara. Major stuff. So at the same time, like I can say, it's not many women in my trade. It's not a lot of women in, what can I say? It's not a lot of women that are cement finishers. So we don't have that many women, and especially not Black women. So that being said, I'm always with probably 17 to 18 men, and I'm the only woman. It's a very hard trade. Um, you get a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. You'd be lucky if you come out of it okay on the top end. Let's say that. Very few of them last for 30 years. I can't say that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for introducing yourself. Keisha, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Keisha L. Blair. People know me as Keisha the Electrician, and I'm a speaker. I am a podcast host of Alpha Intuition, and I'm also a youth advocate for the skilled trades.
Awesome. Thank you. Francis.
Hi, my name is Francis Hawkins. I'm with Primerica Financial Services. I specialize in life insurance and investment, preparing our people for their retirement, for their future, and educating them on the right type of investments and life insurance.
Hi. Hi, I'm Veronica White. I have a nonprofit. It's called Help from a Sister, where we cater to single parents who have a child on the autism spectrum. We provide tools, techniques, and resources to help them transition from where they are to where they want to be. And this is our weekly check in, and we're still honoring women in construction. We're doing it the whole month. So, of course, we have Julie here, who's going to share a little more about the trade. But before I let her do that, you mentioned a couple of jobs you're on. When you mentioned Midway, um, that was with the building group with Walsh. I was the accountant for that job, and pretty much all the jobs at O'Hare from like 2009 to our last job. I've been the accountant for those jobs. So when you're saying like, hey, you look kind of familiar, maybe it was at the job sites. If you can.
I was at Midway and actually when they did the first expansion of Midway, that was considered heavy highway, not the building
Okay.
side. We did all the taxiways, we did all of that. So that was like in 2002. So that's
Okay.
like 2001, 2002, 2003, up until maybe 2004 or 5. And then we went back several times. And then probably, what is this, 2025? So I would say probably during COVID is when they did the expansion portion and they did that walkthrough and they added that walkthrough over there. I was over there with Passion,
Okay. Yes. So yes, that was my job as
but I
well.
have seen you somewhere else. I don't know where, but I seen you.
All right, sounds good. So today we're going to talk more about women in construction, and then we're going to touch basis on credit. This is also National Credit Month.
Mhm.
So we want to share tools, techniques, and resources to help people wherever they are in their journey when it comes to credit. We're all still learning and growing in this space. So the only information is the stuff we don't share with them. But Keisha, is there something you want to share with women in construction?
Oh, wow. This has been a phenomenal month. I actually had an opportunity to get out and do some networking this week, a couple of events that they had here in Memphis. Then I had a good friend of mine that actually called me in crisis asking me to come and to help them fix something at their business. And I said it was something really, really mild to me, but it was major to them. And I'm sitting here, okay, now I tell people, I'm at that age to where I like to teach people as opposed to get out and do the electrical work myself. But because it was a friend, I got her up and going, and she was just so happy. And I've been looking for a space to have my workshops. And then she offered for me to have my workshops at her location. So that's more to come. But I'm working on my Crafting Careers That Build tour. And if you go to craftingcareersthatbuild.com, you'll see that there's a landing page there, but there's more to come on that. So this is me getting out there, helping, getting into the schools to tell the schools more about the benefit of having a building trade under your belt and working in those fields that lead you to construction and ultimately to those lucrative careers for construction.
Awesome. But did you drop the information you just did?
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, so we can share that information with the
Okay.
community as well. But while you're looking for the link, I'll click on it when I see it. Francis, do you have anything you want to share on women in construction or on credit?
Let's go to the credit part. I gathered enough information about one particular incident that just happened that I didn't know it could happen this way. One of my friends, well, my sisters, is looking to purchase a home. And what she had done was she had locked her Experian credit report. By it being attached to a different phone number, it was very hard for the lenders to pull her credit report. So she had to go through a lot of red tape to get that done and taken care of and things of that nature. She was worried and concerned about not being able to get ready to start looking at the homes like she needed to because they couldn't pull because the phone, and she no longer had the phone numbers, the moral of the story. So she wasn't able to tap into it. So the advice that I can give right now for this go round is whenever you change your phone number, make sure you let the credit Experian and people them like that know so it can always be linked to you just in case you can't get it through to the other number.
Oh, that's good. So you only can put your phone number. What about an email? Because people do change their phone numbers often, but emails they kind of keep a little more consistent.
Yeah, but that wasn't working either. It was not linking in with her. If somehow, because they needed to send her, this is why they need to send her a code,
Mhm.
and the code would have been linked to the phone number she previously had.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds great. Well, I'm going
more
back
for the
to
information.
okay. All right, Julie, I'm coming back to you to share. Can you share a little about your journey? Because you've been in construction for a minute. So,
Um, yes, I can. I started construction in 1995 with the city of Chicago. I started as a laborer. I was with Curb and Gutter, which is the Department of Transportation. I did that for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years with them. Then I had a twist in my life, ended up getting pregnant. And of course, I wasn't able to work because at that time, when you get into construction, if you're pregnant, they don't let you stay on the job. It was dangerous at that point. Had my son. I didn't go back to the city. I ended up going private. At that point, when I went private, that's when I entered the private sector of that world of learning construction because it's totally different working private than it is working for the city of Chicago. Um, Went on from there, was able to be a laborer. I was a laborer and I helped to do Millennium Park. I was actually on the stripping crew with the carpenters. Totally different ball game. I was a different level. That's when I really understood what construction really was about because it was, I can say I learned a lot. It was a lot different than working with the city. So that's when I made a determination about what it was that I wanted to do because I had two kids at that point. So I had to make some real, I had to make some real choices about where did I want to go and what direction did I want to go in. And I had an opportunity to pick a trade. So that opportunity came, and I chose cement finishing because, for one, it didn't take as long. Our trade was only 3 years. I didn't want to start. I didn't want my pay to go so low because, like I said, I was a single mother, had 2 kids, so I had to like make some real life choices. So I said, okay, I know concrete, not a big deal. So I ended up becoming a cement finisher. I started with Walsh Construction. They sponsored me. And my first job actually with Walsh, like I said, I started my apprenticeship with Walsh at Midway. And then I did Midway. Then at that same time, we were working and they started the Hillside Strangler. So we was all on the Eisenhower. And then I went on and we was doing stuff over at O'Hare when they was pouring all the ramps and stuff at night. So I did so many different jobs, Wacker Drive, all that stuff. And then as time went on, I just learned more and more about my trade. I got more and more comfortable. At one time, they wanted to always keep the women sectioned in one group. And that was either if you were in the buildings, they wanted to keep you in the buildings. If you were on heavy highway, they wanted to keep you on heavy highway. But we all know heavy highway, once the winter comes, you're not working. So now you're either getting unemployment or you got to find another job, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So for me, I ended up developing relationships with some of my business agents. And I told them, hey, listen, I need to work. I can't sit at home during the winter. I need to, make some money. And, a couple of them was like, nah, you stay. And I was like, nope. So when one wouldn't help me, I'd move on to the next one. So I would call whoever answered the phone. It didn't matter to me because it was all the same for me. So one of them said, hey, no problem. I'll put you never really poured floors. I hadn't really poured floors at that point. I had played with it a little bit, but I didn't know enough about it. So he started sending me out. So I started learning the building trade, which that gave me an opportunity to learn how to run some of the bigger machinery. And then I learned how to really trial floors and understand what that looks like, because it's totally different than pouring heavy highway. And when I wasn't working in the summer months on heavy highway, I would go to the building trades in the winter. So I was able to work year round. And then I was able to bounce from job to job to job. So I was able to meet so many different guys. I didn't have to wait and sometimes call BAs. I was able to call one of the foremans or the superintendents and say, hey, I'm looking for work. And he'll say, oh, Julie, I got some work for you. You available? Yeah. So that's how I was able to work at Kennedy King. I helped do Kennedy King with 2-in-1.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, we did the new Kennedy King. I did the University of Chicago when we did first of all, we did the first, when they had the area they did for the police station that they put over there. Then we went on and we did the dorms over there. So done several jobs in Hyde Park, a whole bunch of them. But what I can say that in this trade for women, it has not been an easy journey. How can I put it? And I don't want to say it like this, but I'm just going to be really honest. The racial barriers are real. It's real. It's really real. I've had instances where I've even asked to bring other women in, or even Black men at that point. And you'll get, well, okay, wait a second. We'll see. Or do they have a sponsor? Well, we'll get there. We'll get them somebody. Not a big deal. Oh, well, right now work is slow. But it would be like, wait a minute. But you'll have a conversation with somebody else and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, so-and-so just got his neighbor's son in. Really? I was just told that work was slow. So at this point, I would just go to the head, to the president, like, hey, what's really going on? Because our demographics is not looking the same. And they would say, well, wait a minute, Julie, it's not like that. And it is like that, though, because this is what we're looking at. And as far as women, I didn't have a lot of women I worked with. I probably worked in my years of being a cement finisher, maybe 10.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 10. And that's in a period of time. 10. Right. I can count 10 on one hand. So I can tell you, we probably don't even have 10 women that are in Local 502. And when I say 10, I mean 10 in heavy highway, including heavy highway and the building trade. Now, the city, that's a totally separate entity. But in the private sector, no, it's not. A lot of them have left. Some left because work was really slow for them, or some left because, of course, they play the we don't have any work. So, of course, when you gotta eat, you gotta figure something else out. So I know women that have left and have not came back. And it's sad to say, I don't think that they actively look for women, and I'm just being honest, they don't. For
But
me,
can I
I
ask
think
you a
they have to be
question?
forced to look for women.
Is there a way? Um, do you are you a part of an organization that will help bring women in?
I am. I was chosen to be a part of Chicago Cook County Tradeswomen Committee. That is a committee that was formed under NAB2, and they added Mike from the building trades. So NAB2 and the building trades have this committee, and there's 14 women on this committee from different trades. They have a Chicago committee, and they have a Las Vegas committee, and I think Wisconsin. What happens is we all meet and we get together and we talk about different things that are going on, and we try to figure out how to implement certain change. Recently, coming up, we're going to Camp Nawick. That's going to be at Weston House High School. Nawick does this every single year. They bring all of these young girls and allow them to sign up from all the different high schools, and they're able to come for one whole week from March 24th to the 28th.
Hold on.
And they do something different with them.
Do you have any information on that? Even if you don't have it now, if you can share it with me.
Yes, I will.
Therefore,
Sure. Yes, I sure will. I'll give you the Chicago Metro chapter. The chapter is 325. Valeria Wright is the president of the Chicago Metro chapter of Nawick. She does this Camp Nawick every year at Weston House. So this year we went over to Lindblom. We had, I think they said 12 girls signed up from Lindblom High School. They did Crane High School. They did probably about 6 high schools. So they have several. I think we have a total of 50 young ladies that are supposed to be at Camp Nawick. And every day they're doing something different with them. They're going to go over to Ozinga and visit the Ready Mix company, the site. Then they're going to go over to, where did she say they're taking them? They're showing them blueprint reading. Then they have another young lady from Passion. It's going to go over some things with them. And just so happens, I met a young lady with Passion. She does all of their social media, but she does stuff with drones. So she's going to teach them about how they set up, and she does all of their social media and looking at all their buildings, and going to show them how she does everything with the drones and stuff for them. So they have something every single day. Now that last day, it's going to be myself and probably 6 or 7 other young ladies from my committee. And we're going to come and we're going to speak to the young girls and tell them about what each one of our trades do, how they can participate, how they can sign up, and might do a demonstration. Last year, I showed them how to build boxes, like little pads, little concrete pads, and they put their names on them. Another young lady was there. She talked to them. She's an insulator. She talked to them about insulation. And then Phyllis is she's the president of the local 1092 for the city of Chicago. She was there. She's on the committee as well. So she talked to the young ladies and stuff. So we've been doing a lot of stuff. I do go out to the high schools, and I do go out and talk to the kids, and I do different things at different high schools and try to get the young ladies to understand how important it is that, everybody doesn't go to college, but this is another way for you to be able to come into something where the trade is going to always be yours. Always. You can take it with you wherever you go, no matter where you live, you can take it with you. So just talking to them and trying to get them to understand what the trade really looks like. It doesn't always have to be where you're a cement finisher like myself or an electrician like Keisha. You can become a project manager. So many different things you can do. They have attorneys that deal with construction. So it's so many different things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to do what I do per se, or what Keisha does, or anything like that. So
Yeah, I agree with that
yeah, they
100%.
don't necessarily have to be a tradeswoman. There's so many different things you can do. You can be in an office and still make a difference. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Uh,
so I go out and I enjoy doing it. Let me say that. I
I
okay.
do
get
enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
I enjoy outreach. I do.
it.
awesome. Thank you for
I do.
sharing. So, do you have any tips on credit? Where are you with your credit journey?
Did you see that ad? No, I'm
No,
just
that
kidding.
look. So
No,
that's
mine's is okay, but I'm building more. And maybe you can help me and tell me some stuff
Mhm.
because I need to understand it. Okay, so you see all these people out here and everybody got a credit class. So that's another thing that scares me because a lot of times you be scared, because this person might say, oh, so and so, know how to help you with your credit and they can help you and show you how to do this. I'm just weary because you have so many people and you don't want your social security out there with just because so and so said they know so and so. You just have to be very cautious. So one of the things for me is like I'm back in the rebuilding of my credit. I do want to learn more about business credit because I do have a business and I do have a nonprofit and I do want to build out that credit. I do want to learn more about, like she was talking about, the different phone numbers and the addresses. I have 2 addresses attached to my credit that I want to drop. So there are things for me that I'm in the process of still learning. And maybe you ladies can tell me something because I don't know as much as I should know, but I will say I'm open to learning a lot about my credit and even more because I want to be able to be on everything auto pay, okay, at the 850, 830. So I'm just being honest. I'm
okay.
not going to sit here and tell you, girl, I'm at a so no,
Well, I'm
never.
going to tell you this is that I actually, it took me a while to actually get to the point to where I built my credit up. Like I say, I had on my episode podcast yesterday, had someone on there who was very well versed in the credit world. And the
Okay.
name of that show was The Energy of Wealth Aligning Mindset and Money. That was on my episode. That was episode 38. And we talked about just how sometimes people will spend money on certain things and won't even think about the outcome. Like if you go to a store and they say, hey, you can get 20% off if you sign up for this credit card. Now, if you got a 430 credit score, you're not going to get that credit card. And all that's going to do is ruin your credit even more than it's already ruined. So you need to consider looking into different things to help to build your credit. And you don't really have to pay anybody to do it. You can do it yourself. When I work with people, I tell them the very first thing that I did was I signed up with Credit Karma.
Yes.
And they have tips and tools and a lot of different things on there that will help you to understand more about your credit and the things that you can do to start to rebuild it yourself. But the very first thing you need to start with is to stop living beyond your means and stop looking to buy things that you know you really don't need right now. Because when you try to finance something, finance is you just digging a hole deeper than you're already in. And basically what you're saying to yourself is that I'm too impatient to wait until I save the money up to buy this. So what I try to teach my children is that credit is used to build credit. Credit is not used to buy things when you don't have money. When you don't have money, you need to go get a job. That's my
Yeah,
advice.
that is. Okay. Well, a tip I have in reference to, well, I have several tips, but the one that I want to share now is teaching people the difference between wants and needs. Your needs, food, shelter, having a place to stay, those are the basic needs. Everything else is a want. And if it's a want, you should prepare for that want. Prepare for what you want to do and don't just buy on impulse, right? Use credit like it's cash. I tell any and everybody, no, I am not a fan of paying someone else to fix my credit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sit, research it, and fix it myself. Yes, it's going to take a little longer. They used to have different programs that are out there, like St. Paul Federal used to have Dreams Begin, where you can get a secure loan, right? And then pay on it every month, and that reports on your credit. Now they have secure credit cards. You can get a secure credit card. Use it like it's cash. If you have the cash to pay for it, go put it on the credit card because you want to use credit. You want to use somebody else's money to get everything you need and get the reward points. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to pay them not a cent of interest. Go ahead, Keisha.
I was just thinking of when you said using somebody else's money, that's like a poverty mindset, because ultimately what you need to think is that I'm using my money. I'm using the credit. I'm putting this on credit, and I'm getting the reward from the points, and then I pay that credit off with the money that I have in the bank. So technically I'm using my own money, and all I'm doing is using the credit card so that I can get the points, and I can use those points to go purchase trips, to go book rooms, to go to concerts, different things like that. So it's not using somebody else's money, it's using your money.
Correct. No, that is absolutely true. But if you spend your money the way you would spend someone else's money, because some people might take care of somebody else's more money better than they'll do their own. But if you know at the end of the day, yes, this is coming out my pocket, whether I pay for it now at $19.99 or 6 years from now and I pay $600, I still got to pay for it. But if I prepare and say no, how do you tell yourself no and be okay with it?
What I do is I look at my bank account. If I don't have the money, I'm telling myself no, whether I got a credit card or not. It's like, nope, not for me.
You know, something I don't have and I don't want is store credit cards. It's a no for me. My sister and I had this conversation. You'll find people going in stores and getting all these store credit cards. Like, you know, they'll say, oh no, you get the store credit card. And well, first of all, why would you go and you have to earn all these points to get $50, to get $30? Like, let's be real. So you have to spend $5,000 to get $50? Like, this is totally ludicrous. Like, this doesn't even make sense. So I have people that I know that will get a store credit card. When I tell you in 5.3 seconds, 5.3 seconds. And I'll say, why do you get a store credit card when you could just have that 1, 2, maybe 3 major credit cards and you can use them anywhere? But a store credit card, you're stuck right there. The interest is high. And how often are you going to use it?
Well, let me tell you this. I use mine as my utilization rate. That way it looks like I'm worth more. I have more credit on paper. And that way, when I spend those major credit cards, it keeps my utilization rate under 10%. And I know most people think that you need to keep it around 30. That's way too high. I tell people, and I tell my children, keep it under 10%. That will keep your credit score high.
So let me ask you this. Do you tell them to, if they, let's say they go in Macy's and let's say, come on, get you a Macy's credit card. You can save X amount of dollars and I'll give you 15% off. Well, is it really necessary to get a Macy's credit card when you already have a Discover that might have an $8,000 limit or a $10,000 limit, or you already have an American Express or whatever, so be it. Sometimes would you, okay, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Sometimes isn't it worse to have a regular revolving credit card sometimes because the interest on them are so much more higher? And if you decide you don't want to use the card, because some of them have penalties if you don't use the card.
That's only if you don't use it within like a year. So what I usually do with my revolving credit cards, even if I go buy some gas on it and I'll pay the gas off. So the biggest thing that you have to remember is that whatever you put on there, you need to pay it off at the end of the billing cycle, and don't carry a balance, because when you carry a balance, that's when you get hit whatever that high interest rate is.
Correct.
That's why I kept my American Express as long as I did, and I want it back because that kept me all the way together.
Oh, you're saying the American Express Green.
Yeah, I had my American Express because I had a rewards card. You had to pay that rewards back in 30 days. There was no doubt about it.
Cards, a lot of them, but with the things that I do, like I said, I make sure that I have to use them at least once within a 12-month time frame so I don't lose it. And then whatever I put on there, I pay it off at the end of the month. I pay it off at the end of the billing cycle. That way I don't get hit with those interest charges. And in my mind, I know that whatever I'm charging, I have that money in the bank. So I'm not spending anybody else's money. I'm spending my money. That way I get the points. And I also get my credit that goes up because now I'm using this credit card. And whatever it was 15% off, I'm getting that 15% off when I signed up for it. Now, I only tell people to sign up for it if you know you're going to get approved. Don't sign up for a credit card knowing good and well you're not going to get approved for it just to get that 15% off, because that's going to ruin your credit even more than it already is.
Correct. And then you should not focus on whatever the interest rate they're charging, because your goal is not to pay interest.
Correct.
Use the money use your credit like it's cash.
Because if you spend cash and use credit at the same time, you're digging a hole for yourself and you're going to end up deep inside that hole. Yeah. You can't use credit and spend money at the same time. You got to pick one.
I'm gonna
And I would say
piggyback
credit.
off a
Go ahead.
couple to you guys. Uh, you're right. I would take time out and get my own credit together because trusting somebody else is the worst thing to do. And then they have it where it'll stay out for 90 days so you can purchase a house, but then it's coming right back when you could take your time in setting up something with the creditor to where you could pay half of what you owe, sometimes under half of what you owe. But nowadays, I'm taking a look. 'Cause I am in the rebuilding stage, preparing myself for my future. But you got Kalana, you got Afterpay, you got all these other places. I would prefer to utilize them with no interest, even though it's coming out every 2 weeks. So I know I'm on a budget. Whatever coming out, I can still purchase some things that I want. They selling anything from tires, refrigerator stoves. I'm just exaggerating about that. That part. But they are doing so much to help people get things that they want without using credit. So you can still build your credit and get some of the other things that you want and use your credit for emergency purposes. That's what I've learned the hard way. They have each lane for things to go in so I can keep on my credit, what gum or something like that. It can save utilization and still get the clothes I want if that's the case, or the purse I want. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to make sure you on a budget. Because when that paycheck hits your account, you atomizing everything that you got coming out, and you're going to put that in. So that's what I'm saying. Use another source instead of using your credit card. Use Carlano or
Or
Afterpay.
even a firm. Even
Oh,
a firm. A firm actually checks your
yes,
credit.
there's one.
You cannot get a firm or the shop pay if they don't check your credit.
Yes.
Okay,
That is
yeah,
a given.
that's a good topic. I think credit. I see we need to have some more discussion on this. So we're gonna continue this conversation to next week. I like what you all said. I like to put the information out there about the other programs that you can have that will break the payments down for you. But I'm gonna come with some more information because my goal is how about save for that purchase before you get it? So
Mhm.
therefore you already have the money. And now once you have the money and it's been a period of time, do you still want that? If you still want it, hey, your reward is I sacrificed and saved for it. But let's have this conversation next week and we're gonna talk more about credit because it's national credit and women in construction.
All right.
So thank you all so much for sharing your information. Julie, it was a pleasure having you. If you're available next Sunday and you want to get on with us, you are more than
Yes.
welcome to.
I thank you, ladies. I thank you so much for inviting me. I learned some stuff that I didn't know. And yes, I will be back because I want to learn more. And it was great meeting you guys.
You
You
as well.
as
Thank you for
well.
sharing your story. Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thanks.
joining.
All right, Keisha, Francis, Julie. Any last words or can we sign out?
Crafting Careers That Build tour. Go to my website, craftingcareersthatbuild.com, or you can just call me on my number that's listed on the screen, and I can come into your schools and speak to the kids about skilled trades.
You
Awesome.
can catch me on Facebook and Instagram under my name, Julie Harris, or Julie_Shy Health. Send me a message. And I also go to the high schools here in Chicago. I am a chairperson for the Chicago Cook County Tradeswomen Committee. And I'm also a member of NAWIC. So you ladies or men, anyone can reach me that way. And I thank you so very much.
You're welcome. And Julie, you're going to send me some information so I can put that out there next week about the different programs you all have
Yes, I
coming
will.
up so we can
I sure
share.
will. I will not forget.
Sounds great. Francis,
Okay.
any last
Yes, you
word?
guys, if you want more information, what I'm doing now is I'm sending out brochures about how money should work for your future for retirement so you won't go back to work during the age of retirement. And also, I'm giving out free financial need analysis so therefore you can see how much money you need to accumulate for retirement and don't depend on Social Security and things to that nature. You can reach me under my name on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. And remind me next week too. I have a tip about Social Security, even though we shouldn't depend on it. They got some information I'd like to share
Okay.
with about it too. All right. Well, thank you, young ladies, for sharing. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you for tuning in for the weekly check-in, Life Unscripted. Talk to y'all soon.
Have a great one, guys. Bye.